new week. Who is ready for something creative, something fun? Let's have a wonderful week ahead. I have made 2 pages so far with the March supplies. So let's have a look at those. And then today I've got a starting point with lots and lots of layers. And then we will talk about what kind of photos you could put on it because you got all sorts of different answers. Right, let's have a look at what we've done so far. We have these 2. So we started last Monday with this sort of composition where you're coming in from the sides, and there's a lot of potential here in terms of being a starting point because I've done 2 3x4 photos, but you'll notice that all of this is just embellishment, which means you could keep all your embellishment up here and you could replace this with more photos. So you could have 3 in a row here plus 1 up here. You could have a big landscape here. You've got lots of options, and that's why we love a starting point. And then on Friday, we did a grid of 5 photos, which again, you could swap in for a different number because I could have up to 6 photos here, but any number below that, I could just, any spot that's empty, I put in a 3x4 card, whether that is a bit of pattern, a little title piece, another journaling card, anything like that can work. So that's what we've done so far. Lots of layered die cuts and stickers here. Lots of kind of little embellishment layers here, but also some that are confetti type. So today we're going to start with some of those layering pieces and before we put the photos on it. So that's where we are so far. Now I'm going to scrapbook 2 4x6 photos today, but that does not matter at this point because that is the glory of starting points. So let's see. Paper-wise, where would we like to start? We have this. I'm getting very excited to use these, but today is not the day. But the trees are starting to bloom. I'm going to have all my springtime photos. And I love photography in the spring. My favorite. Hello, Georgia. And Marlo and Sharon and Marvine and Rebecca and Lisa and Allie, Audrey, Debbie in Dramatic, Texas. Jenna, Krista, someone in Washington who I'm guessing that's your last name, and I'm not quite sure what your first name might be. Yeah, but anyway, and anybody else who's out there and quiet, hello. Okay, so are these my 2 butterflies? Yeah, I'm going to put these aside because we have this idea that I want to try, and I don't want to accidentally cut into those because I'm looking at the B-sides. So things that we might layer today. Want something that's not too busy for the background so that we can then put lots of things on top of it. It doesn't mean it has to be completely plain though. I mean, we can do that. We have them in the project pad. Okay. So let's look at this Vicky project pad. We have stickers, and then we have paper. Okay, so we have all these different things. My photos are too big to make it work on this one. I am going to use that this month, though. Ooh, this could be a really nice base. Should we start with this? Let's start with this. And I remember last time I did the perforation and it was not pretty. So we're going to trim it instead. Hello, Joanne in Scotland. All right. Gonna take that across the top. Okay, so if we start with that as our 12 by 12, then we can add other pieces to it. Why am I being uncoordinated here? And just a little flip through to remind us of what solids we have left in here. Green, light orangey, peachy, pink, lavender, a blue-green, a purple blue, and an indigo. Okay. So we have those there. We also have lots of pieces here that we've already cut into a little bit that we can cut into more. More. Yes, we can. Oh, hello, sunshine. What is this on my desk? You were not there a moment ago. Are we back to this point in the year where I have to keep an eye on the blinds? because otherwise we get these weird lines on the desk. It's been so long since we've had that happen. The weather has been nothing but overcast, but today, apparently, a little sunshine. That'll sort itself out in a second when the blinds stop moving. Okay, I'm liking these colors together. Do we like? Then we have in backgrounds here. That's from there. We could also bring in, let's look at what else matches this little rainbow. I'm wondering about bringing in one of the lighter colors, but do I actually have them here? I do not have them in this, but I have them in other things. So I have, like, the light, I think that is just a bit too lime green. This, however, could work very well. And I do have this yellow, which is a nice softer yellow than that one. So I wouldn't need, I do like this for rainy photos, and I'll probably use some of that, but it would probably be like strip. So I could use quite a lot of this yellow B-side and not be panicked later in the month when I have a rainy photo day and I'm like, oh, I want that. So I think let's do that. Also, I'm noticing I have this much of that. Oh, that's a significant amount of the yellow from the project pad too. Okay. So we have lots of options there. Okay, so we are going to go with, let's move that so it doesn't create a shadow. Okay, everything's settled here. That's our background. And then pieces we are going to cut up to be using for layering. The navy, the yellow, which could be either of these depending on what supplies you've got. A bit of the rainbow stripe, pink grid, turquoise, crosshatch. We're going to make layout from that. Happy, happy? All right. Let me do my little speech. And then we get started cutting and pasting that. Oh yeah, some of you had clock change yesterday. We don't have clock change just yet. So not till the end of the month. Ready for the jump scare? Hello. Hi, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime you scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising. And legally, I need to make sure you're aware of that, so thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live and chatty or quiet and watch from Tomorrowland in the future, whether you are crafty, not crafty, thinking about picking up a craft, and if you're not crafty, we can probably prove that you are crafty. You can pick this up. It's totally cool. And then in the description box with this video, you will find links to everything that I do, the products that I design, the supplies I use here to scrap along with you, and the classes that I teach. So you can find all that stuff there. And if you find something or you're not finding something, let me know and I will help any way I can. That's enough of my face. Let's scrapbook. All right. And everyone will be happy to hear that I have shaken off my disappointment that we talked about on Friday. I'm back in, I'm going to Disney this month mode, which is good. Yeah. All right. So we got that. Yesterday, well, actually, this whole weekend was, I feel like I did not stop this weekend. But all good things. Some things of like really the kind of moments that make you realize, oh, my kid is getting older. Like my kid is growing up. First proper research paper we did this weekend. That was a lesson that that required some thought, some learning what one is. But we have all survived, and we'll see how he goes. But he's turned it in now. I also had one of those like creative free projects, which he came up with an idea and did that. But then we also went to the theater to watch his friend in his last ever show on a contract. And we had some special lessons that he hasn't had before. Oh, it was busy, but all good things, all good things. Yeah? So that's what we did this weekend. What did you do this weekend? And I'm going to start chopping up paper to see where it's going to go. Okay. I Oh, where have I lost your chat? Oh, Georgia's going to be away for SBC Fest and she wanted to follow live. I'm sorry. It will all still be there, though. That's good. You could pretend you were live and be like, no, it's actually happening right now. And then leave all the comments that you would leave if you were live. That would be amazing. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this white layer over that. I want the navy around the edge. But not just a let's take a 1/4 inch off each side. I'm going to do a little bit more texture than that, I think. I'm trying to decide, do I want to first cut and then texture? I think that's it. So let's take like 3/4 of an inch off 2 sides. That's not 3/4 of an inch. Oh, there's the 1 inch. I was like, what? That looks huge. Because it was. Okay, we'll go to here. And then this one. So we've got a box with a nice chunky blue frame around the edge. Oh, I could even go a little smaller than that. I don't want to lose any more of the blue in this corner. I'm going to take a little bit off there. I want it a little bit smaller. Okay. So give me a chunkier frame with my blue. Yeah. Okay, I like this. Now, I'm going to ink and black today. So let's swap these around. Whoop. Oh, now I put them both in my hand. I think this is the brown. Yeah. I was doubting myself. Just had to check. Okay, so I'm going to ink it first and then distress it a little bit. So the paper you get in paper pads, although it's not as thin as it used to be, it is a little thinner than the individual sheets. And sometimes you want to use that to your advantage. So they will bend and crease and manipulate a little easier because it's thinner. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll each of the 4 sides. And you can do this with normal, even thicker cardstock, of course. But it does work quite well with this thickness. And, you know, let's use all the papers for their positives. Why not? Let's make it so I can see you talking. Oh yes, Georgia is absolutely right. If you're doing SBC Fest not live, you can then change the time to fit your time zone perfectly. So we have this. It's like I've made a little tray to put stuff in. I'll put some beads in here and they won't fall out, right? But now don't worry, it's not going to be that much off the page. Obviously not. But we start there because we're going to work back down. Right, I want the blue corner to stay here. Then we're going to go to places where there's kind of a bigger bend. That's the word I'm looking for. Big Bend. That's a town in Kansas. And then I'm going to tear a little bit away. Now, I don't like how quick that came down there, so we're going to go this way too. Okay. But I don't want a lot of that. I just want a little. So let's do it on the diagonal. Hello, Anne. You're not too late. We've only just got started. I haven't stuck anything together yet. Okay, so we got like a bite taken out of the top left and the bottom right. Now we'll do some sticking. And do I want to distress any of the corners? I think I do a little bit. can use a nail file for this too if the scissors freak you out because they can do things like that. You can use a nail file. Also, you can just opt to not panic about that. It's only paper. And I wanted it distressed, so that's not going to be nice and super orderly anyway, is it? Okay, now I need to figure out where this is going. That looks about right. It's harder to keep it straight because you can't see your nice, neat box. Oh, see? I'm way further over there. Start again, start again. Kind of hold it down flat to see if we can get it nice and square. That looks a lot better. Okay. See, already it's a lot flatter than it was, and it's just going to continue to get flatter and flatter. So that's where we are, starting our layers. Now, we have these other pieces. I'm going to make one of these be basically photo mat size. I don't want to end on that though, so I'm going to take that bit off. I'm just going to use a blank photo to make me a box. Doesn't mean that you're going to have a 4x6 there necessarily. Then we've got this sort of scenario. This is nice and colorful to then start putting things behind, but it hasn't brought in all of these colors, which I also want to bring in. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a little strip of them like this. And we're going to ink that too. Right. Not putting adhesive on the edges because we're layering and we want to be able to tuck things in, of course. Now, see how this is that color there? We're going to swap it upside down like this. That has text on it, but the text goes both directions, so you can't win. You do not need to go any particular direction. We're going to take that along here, and then this along there, and now we have all the colors, even though I don't have a 12-inch strip of the color. With me? All right. Now, what has happened here, YouTube? I don't like it when you do this. Sometimes YouTube just decides to show me a frozen version and make me panic. It's not frozen for anyone else. It just decides, hey, you know, it would be fun. Let's mess with her head while she's live and make it look like nothing else is happening. No, don't do it. Okay. Now, some embellishments to layer. We have got stickers and stickers from two collections. We've also got the stickers in the paper pad, and then the die cuts, which have ended up underneath. So let me just carefully get to them so I don't drop them everywhere. Those are the letters we ended up using on Friday. Die cuts here. Okay. So let's start with die cuts because they're bigger and it's easier to start with the bigger things. So I'd quite like to start with a big hunkin' die cut like those books. Yeah. And then these crayons might be handy. Okay, I think that's a good start. So we have... Come on, show me the right screen. Thank you very much, computer. Good job. So these are maybe, but these are for real. Yes. Okay. these. Tuck them underneath. Now, this is small, so it's all stuck. Okay. We're going to take the big honkin' die cut and put it over here. Now, I can do this and bring it off that edge a little bit, which I like. Then we can look at these other stickers. Also, let's not forget that this is a good sheet for layering too. Okay. I think this could be really useful, or this, either of those could be useful today. So that one. Let's take this and put it in two places. So we're going to put some of it up in that corner, and we're going to put some of it down here. We're going to just chop it right there, but because now that's obviously chopped in the middle, I'm going to chop these two edges as well, just into that last little border. Then it doesn't look like we chopped it in a place like in the middle. It doesn't have a different version. Okay, so the little one first. Ink that. You could also ink this in color if you wanted. Oh, we're gonna pop that. Where I accidentally tore this, let's use it as a this was meant to happen kind of moment and tuck into that. Yes. And then over to here. No, behave. Thank you. I think I said thank you too early there. Okay. There we go. Piece there. Lovely. Hello, Lori in California. Layer this in here behind that. So when you're layering, sometimes labels and things will look really big, and then you put them in and you're like, oh, actually no, not that big really. So it's okay. All right. Where are we moving next? We're going this way in case you haven't guessed. So let's bring in some pieces up here. I think one of these could fit in the torn bit there and look really cute. Let's do it that way so it sits on top of that edge there, but then brings it up to the top of the page here. Yeah. Now, I'm going to use one of these and the sticker one, so not the yellow because the sticker one is yellow and I want two different sizes. So let's have this one and then this one. Now, if the crayon, colored pencil, I think it can be either. If that does not fit what you're going to scrapbook at all and you're like, nope, I'm out now, don't worry. Look at the shape of the embellishment. That's the same shape as a long, skinny label. I'm using it exactly the same way. It's also the same shape as an arrow. I'm using it exactly the same way. Okay? So just replace the pencil, crayon, whatever, with something that is long and rectangular, like a label, just a little strip of paper, or an arrow. A long leaf would also work, maybe a border stamp, a piece of all this washi tape that we have. Yes. Don't get thrown by the fact that it has that motif, is what I'm saying. Awesome. We don't want you to get thrown and be like, nope, this idea is no longer useful to me. Equally, talking about things that make you go, oh, it's not useful to me. If you looked at this and as soon as I distressed that edge, went, nope, it's not for me. This could be a nice, tidy square, all flat. Totally fine. There's no reason not to have that. You can make those changes all the time. But equally, you might have looked at a layout that has, like if you have a nice, imagine that's cut and I've put purple paper on white paper instead of it being printed. And if it is a nice clean edge like that and you're like, oh, it looks too tidy to me, then you can do that to it. Yeah? You are in control. It's your album. Make it the way you like. Okay, so we're going to have these here. Yes. Other things we've got. Let's bring these colorful ones in. Just in case there's any words that really fit what I'm going to scrap, I'm going to look at the words first. And then color. Okay. Kind of liking bringing this in because I have it in the background, yeah. So I'm going to go with this flower actually. And layer it in with the books and the label. Now it has a flower there too. Are you with me so far? What are you scrapping this week, everybody? Or what did you do at the weekend that you now want to scrapbook? Are you scrapbooking current things recently? Or are you scrapbooking from days of yore? Let us know what you're doing. I'm going to bring that color up to here. So that might be just as simple as putting that as if it's the color name on the pencil. And let's double check the other sticker options. I've got the foam stickers and I've got this because, hey, this cut and paste bundle is a bargain. Also, you can use that code for 10% extra off. So you can use my affiliate link and the code SBCFest this week for 10% off your order. Yay! But yeah, you get a lot in this cut and paste and bundle. And then there's also my Live the Dream bundle, same sort of deal. So you can bundle all that up and take 10% off even the discounted price, and it's all good. Okay, we've got lots of little phrases down here, so we'll get to them. But just looking at, now I could repeat the books, but I don't want to, but you could. But what I want to do is bring these colors up to here, because right now I don't have a full rainbow, I just have a little bit of these colors. So I'd like to bring a little bit more of what's down here up to here. And what should we do that with? I kind of want to stick part of this sunshine up here. I don't know if that's going to compete against the bunting in a weird way. So we're going to take this away for a second. And I'm going to cut this, which means committing. Committing to using it somewhere. Okay, so I'm thinking like that. Then, do I still like this or do I not? I don't like that it then makes this weird piece there. Do I like it more down here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this so I can see it right next to my layout. Because once I get to photo stage, that bunting piece may well come back into the mix. But you could do either or up there. Okay. And then and then the foam over here. Let's see. All right, we got some interesting chat now. Debbie at the weekend made a plant cell model with her grandson. Oh, I remember doing that and really feeling very clever when I had made my plant cell model as a kid. I remember using hair gel. Dippity-doo, thank you. Like, let's say how old I am and where I came from. Dippity-doo for the cytoplasm. Have I remembered that correctly? Debbie, please check me. Is it cytoplasm in a plant cell, or did I learn nothing? Ali is about to do a 2-page layout from the Grand Canyon using torn paper to make the canyon. I love that. Georgia started the year by doing only 6x12 monthly dividers like me, and it's not for her. I like my unorganized, bung everything into one album in any old order, which is great. I'm so glad that you have figured that out. You feel that it's stunting your creativity. I'm really curious does that feeling come from keeping them in order or having monthly dividers? That is interesting. Debbie says I can get my credit because she says she does remember cytoplasm as part of it. Yay. And that her son made a plant cell with Jell-O back in the day. I love that too. Lee is scrapping from days of yore. Baby pictures in Poland in Polaroid, sorry, in 1968. I really did think that said Poland for a second, and perhaps I need to read carefully in my head before I read out loud. Not Poland, Polaroid. Both relevant. You know, you never know. What else we got? Anne is scrapbooking her middle daughter's photos. Lots of photos since she got engaged. Those are happy photos to scrapbook. Oh, and Georgia says the reason it's not working for her is now she feels pressured to scrap in the order of the month. Yeah, let that go. Big time. Scrapping roughly in order only works for me because I'm here in front of you twice a week. Yeah. Otherwise, that wouldn't work for me because then you feel like, oh, no, I need to scrap something from this week and I haven't done 6 weeks ago. And I still have to balance things like that and remind myself that I will be coming back to things. Because sometimes I get to the last live stream of a month and I'm like, oh, but I have 4 different things that I could scrapbook today. What am I going to do? And then I have to remind myself, oh, yeah, I can still scrapbook afterward. I don't have to just make what I make in those. It's fine. But yeah. Okay. More layers, please. So I want another flower like this. I keep looking at the florals. So I don't have another blue one, but it doesn't mean that I can't use a floral from this same sticker sheet. What have we got? Purple. The orange. That one is a more similar flower to this. And what I'm going to worry about is just the blossom. That bit's going to be covered up. So I'm not going to stress about it. Georgia did look through her pages that she scrapped last year and realize that there were key events that she forgot to document because now she's noticed it in putting the album in chronological order. Yeah? Is that what we're talking about? Okay, so I want this flower to come right across, I think. Let's do like that. But this is totally going to be covered up, so I'm not worried about that. Okay? If you aren't going to end up with something covering this here, you could always just cut around the photo. If you end up with a little stem there, then you put an enamel dot over it. It's fine. Okay, what else we want to put on this before we declare it a starting point? Oh, I have all those little flags in the die cuts. Are they here? No. Where are they? Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let me look back at my notes. This might be a good place to call it a starting point. I think, yeah. Okay, let's call this the starting point. So let me take a little picture of it here. There we go. And now we go forward with more stuff, more layers. Now, I've got my photos. I have 2 4x6 portraits today. I'd only done 3x4s for last week, so I've got 4x6 today. So here we have WB and his bestie, who finished a whole year in Matilda yesterday. We went to his first show a year ago and his last show yesterday. That was all very sweet. So what we're going to do is one photo is going to go here and the other photo is going to go there. And I'm just going to look at how that's going to work out with the layering. Oh, there, because I don't need the sign there, but we were limited in how I could frame it. So that works, doesn't it? Yeah? Okay, so oh, I love that. Does that mean, Jenna, that you scrap along with me most of the time, or at least like in a relatively close time frame? I don't know if you actually watch while you scrap or if you watch and then you go scrap. But she says that knowing there'll be 2 days of the week when I'm live, she scrapbooks with me like chronologically. And then when she goes to retreats, she tells the stories that are sort of out of order from that in other times. Okay, we might put a mat on that one, so I'm not going to press that down yet. Are we happy so far? Let's put a mat behind there. I think the yellow might be nice. She does. She scrapbooks with me most of the time. I love it. Oh, I already did this one. Okay, come here. Is enough that way? Yes, it is. Now, when I was picking these photos today, I very purposely had in my mind that I should talk about the mental reminder that we all need from time to time, that when you look for inspiration, you do not need to match the theme of the photos at all. So, if you're somebody who looks at the page and goes, oh, I don't have pictures like that, so I can't follow it, I'm going to ask you to reframe and try some different tactics, because there could be so many things out there that are useful for you, but you're not looking at them because they don't have the same sort of photos. And I promise you, it could be fun. So if you go to, say, Pinterest to look for inspiration, and you make a little folder of a little pinboard of photos that you want, or pages that inspire you, that you want to take some inspiration from, for example. Don't search by the theme of your layout. Like, unless that is always your vibe, and you're like, no, I am the person that spaghetti printed paper was invented for, because I have a picture of my baby eating spaghetti, and I want the picture of the spaghetti scrapbooked with paper that looks like spaghetti. If that's you, then I want you to be searching for spaghetti scrapbook pages on Pinterest. Yes. But if that's not you, I want you to say, I have 2 4x6 photos, and search for scrapbook page, 2 photos, or 2 4x6 photos. And then I want you to put in something that is a directive to give you an artistic direction. So that might be layers. It might be the name of a designer. You could search for Vicky, Shimelle, Paige, whatever. Other people's names too. Other scrappers are available. Yeah. And maybe a style. You could do mixed media or clean, or, and see what you get then. And basically, when you look at their layouts, see a blob here. See like just a little happy face that says photo. Happy face, photo. Yes. And then you look at the rest of the layout and don't obsess about what's in the picture. Because we do this here all the time, so I know those of you who've been around a long time know that I'm going to scrap what I'm going to scrap, and you're going to scrap what you scrap. But I know that there are people who get hung up with this, and today is just the day that I feel like, let's remind you that you don't need to do that. You can use inspiration from anybody no matter what photos they're scrapping. It's okay if you're a dog person and you're taking inspiration from a scrapper who only scraps a cat. It's okay. Yes. Also, it is okay if you want to use the spaghetti paper. If so, then that is the easiest way to find that sort of thing. But if you normally would, like, where would I start here? Other than like kids or boys or something. And if you know that if I put in scrapbooking boys, I'm not going to get this layout. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to get something that's like way more, because the search engine is going to go, nope, she asked for boys, so we're going to give her what we feel is the stereotypical definition of boy design, and that's not my pages. So there we go. All right, so we got this happening. Yes. Let's put more layers in these spaces, and that will make room for a title. I also need to make room for journaling, so one of these will get title, one of them will get journaling, and we put more stuff on top. Are we happy? Okay. And also wanted to know if anybody scraps by subject. She has different books for different people in them or events. Now, and my system is that I scrapbook the everyday kind of stuff, the little things chronologically, but big theme things also exist in my world, and I call them upgrade albums. That includes things like trips where I'm going to have 40 pages from one thing. I have themes that go over time. So I have all my dance stuff is in one album from when I was like 3 years old to adult stuff all the way through in one book. What else do I have by theme? Yeah, friends' weddings. My own wedding is more than one volume, but it's certainly in its own book. Yeah, so I do all the little things that wouldn't go in one particular theme. They're like this. They go into my chronological album, and then that gives us an idea of what our family was doing over time through life. And you can see my kid grow up, and you can see me get older, and all of that sort of thing. Yeah? Georgia puts her niece in her own annual albums. Yes, exactly. Makes sense. Allie, when she makes sketches, she tries to make them flexible and generic so that they can be really useful for lots of people. Yeah, when I do my sketches, I always just use like a star. It means embellishment rather than something else. Oh, sorry, Nikki, what question have you posed this morning? Welcome back to the UK. What have you asked? I'm not aware of the question, so go on. Please do. Right, let's look at where we're going to put more layers here. So I want to go in this space here with that bunting might work better than the newsprint bunting. That's interesting. Okay, so I've got little flags here. Don't want to stick it yet, though. Okay, so we're going to have that. Oh, Nikki says 6 weeks of travel. Do I do it as its own album or in with everything else? That needs its own album, honey. No way can I put 6 weeks in. I struggled with the week from May as to whether I should make a whole album just for that. 6 weeks would definitely get its own album in my world. But you may not be as prolific and what I do is I look at how many pages it is. I ask myself, is this a number of pages that is going to disrupt the flow of the story and make it look like this is all I did? If so, then it gets its own album, but I put a page or two in the chronological album to reference that so that it does look like it happened. I don't want to omit it from the chronological story entirely. But yeah, like my honeymoon has its own album that was a long trip like that. And backpacking was one album per month. So it's four books. Yeah. Georgia has a me album, which starts with photos of her mom and dad when they met, and then baby photos through to a teen at the moment. Yeah. If you've never done an album that's like a summary of your life story, I highly, highly recommend. Yeah. You can, and you'll still, although the pages will be dated, searching for things like the Book of Me. So Angie Peterson wrote a book that I was part of way back when this was like a revolutionary idea because people didn't expect you to scrapbook about yourself. Now we're way more cool with that. Yeah, but you'll still find content online about Book of Me from that phrase if you search, and there's good writing prompts and all sorts of stuff like that about pages that you might want to make to help tell your story all in one volume, and then you can have all the details in other places. Why are we sending no data, computer? That's not nice of you. Okay, now we're back to green. Okay, we're just grumpy. Okay, let's see if you come back here. Nikki tried doing a Book of Me but got bored. Well, if you're not loving it, don't do it. Yeah. Okay. I want something up here. So I don't really need to come back to this floral because I've got 2 of them on that diagonal. That's fine. I was looking at labels and things. I have the other one of these. Let's try it. Oh, that looks, okay, I like that. The repetition of that. I wasn't sure if I would want the repetition, but I do. And that's fine. And it's like, I like the idea of being a non-themed scrapbooker in my head. And then I do things like scrapbook pool pictures with the pattern paper that has a big pool on it. And you know what? It's absolutely fine. I do it too. I mean, you know I'm going to buy a paper with Mickey Mouse faces on it. Why would I not? So I just don't want anybody to get a creative block because you're like, someone needs to have done this before and I need a really close example to follow. You don't. I promise you, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah, all sorts of different pages might come in useful. You can always, but there's nothing wrong with theme paper. Just don't let it become a gate that is keeping you. Oh, Lori, I miss CKU too. Yeah. Conventions like that. They were fun to teach at and they were fun to go to as a student. I've done both and I've enjoyed both immensely. But unfortunately, not really so much of a thing now. Yeah. Okay. Now, title-wise, that's not the one. I got stickers here. Letter stickers. And I need a journaling box. So we could go with the pink journaling box there, the blue journaling box there, this pink journaling box. Oh, I like this. Okay. I was worried about this, but I think it's just not going to show, so that's fine. I like the pink stripes. There were silly things about CKU that just felt really nice. Like, do you remember the tote bag would be big enough to put a 12 by 12 scrapbook in? And that was such a novel concept because it was hard to get a tote bag that you could fit 12 by 12 stuff in. I'm like, oh, not only is this tote bag branded for the event, it's the perfect size I need. And so, funny little things like that. Nikki, are you going to use Best of Both Worlds kits to scrap your travels? Is that what you're saying? Allie did Week in the Life at CKU, and you want to try and duplicate it 20 years later. So I did Allie's Week in the Life at CKU one year. And the interesting bit was that album that we got, like a week didn't fill it in the format that you were learning. So I did the same week in multiple years. And it was a really interesting project. Yeah, I think there is something about it that, because she still does it like as an online thing where loads of people are participating at the same time. And so you get the kind of online community of people posting in their stories to be like, here are the 20 pictures that I took today that I'm going to put in my Week in the Life. And I find that really interesting because when I did my photos before CKU, we're talking like pre-Instagram. In fact, I may have taken them with film. I'm not sure how far back. Sorry, Lori, I just read that. I started laughing. I'll come back to that. Oh, I love that. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I did my photos before the event without like community involvement. And I found it the kind of process that I actually really enjoyed not being community. I enjoyed it being on my own because it gave me, it was a mindful practice. Does that work? That I was probably taking 20 odd photos a day, which is making me wonder, maybe I did it early days of digital and I got them printed at the developer that I used to use for film. That might have been it. Because I think otherwise I would have hesitated to use that much film. Yeah. So it must have been early days of digital that I did it. But I would go through all of the photos and then narrow it down. But it was still a big stack of prints when I rocked up for CKU. And I found it really interesting then to see things that I had snapped that everybody at my table ended up snapping the same type of photo, and things that each of us did that were very different from each other. Yeah, it was really nice. Okay, but the thing that made me laugh, Lori learned about me from CKU because she was there and there was an annoying woman giving her opinions very loudly. And one of her opinions was that I, Shimelle, was quote unquote too much. So Lori had to come and find me. I love it. From somebody who spends a lot of their life thinking they're not enough, I love it when people think I'm too much. It's kind of funny. All right, scrapping. Words are going to go here. Title needs to come up here. We need to figure out what we're calling it. All right. I want to call it like graduation day. That's a really big word, though. Okay. How much space would that take up? GRADUATIO. And oh my goodness, it's too many letters. Yeah, no. Okay. So if I wanted to do graduation, I have to do it in smaller letter stickers like I did on Friday. Or I could just rewrite. Okay. So what if I do Crunch'em? That's the name of the school in Matilda. And I'll do that here. Linda wants to know what the crown means. It means you've talked the most in today's live chat. Okay, so I'm going to do Crunch'em and then in the big letters. And I'll use little ones for graduation. Crunch'em. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so the little crowns, they reward you. It's all automatic. I'm not like making that happen. They reward you for engaging more so that you don't ever feel bad for being too much. You're not too much. There is a little a little crown behind your name as a prize for being just the right amount. Yeah. Crunch. Oh, is it CHEM or CHUM? It's EM. Okay, cool. There we go. HEM. Is it gonna fit? Oh yes, happy belated International Women's Day, everybody who's here, who fits under that. To all who celebrate, that's what we mean. Okay, I think I need to go backwards just a little bit. That's why I wasn't sticking them down yet. And maybe this one is gonna move a little bit too. Okay, so let's start here. See? R. U. N. C. H. E. Am I going uphill? I feel like I've gone uphill with this H. No, it's just that the C is too low, isn't it? Everything else is okay now. All right, that fits nicely. Now, can I do graduation in any of the little letters I got out last time? Oh, we could use the multicolored ones again. Oh wait, did I finish off something? G, R, A, D, U, A, T, I, O, N. No, we're fine. Okay. Graduation. Okay, let's do... No, I don't want the purple. Graduation. Oh, let's go not so light. I feel like that is just going to look like a gap rather than the letter. Is this one bright enough? Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Anne's daughter made a photo collage for International Women's Day with a picture of her grandmothers, her mother-in-law, aunt, and daughter. And Anne needs to get a copy. Yes, you do. That sounds delightful. Okay. Oh. I feel like I should give myself a merit badge for using multicolored alphas twice in a row. Like, I always buy them and don't use them. I mean, I have used some, obviously. But in terms of what I need to remind myself to use what you buy, they're quite high up. Which color to end on? The purple again. Let's have purple. And that fits nicely too. Fancy. All right. Now, this little banner coming back in. And I want to put a 2 and a 6 on it. Class of 26. I know it doesn't fit. I think it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's kind of cute that way. All right. That makes it hard to read. Like that? Okay. I know I need to get something happening in here because there's a weird gap here, but we got it. We got it. We're going to make it work. Okay. Ah, Jennifer uses Stacy Julian's big picture system for organizing layouts. 4 categories. Yeah, I tried this one. This one did not work for me, but I'm glad it works for you. Yeah. Yeah, so her organization system is all about us, people we love, places we love, and things we love. Jennifer says when she, same person. Jennifer says when she tries to scrap a month or a year, she doesn't finish, and then she feels like a failure, so now she scraps whatever she likes. Yeah, please, please, please do not ever stick with a system that makes you feel like a failure. Yeah, everybody's brain is totally different. Yeah, and that's why that system didn't work for me, because to me, it was too open. So like you're thinking, I didn't get everything for the month done, ergo I'm a failure. You put something that's like, we love on the end of the title, and I'm like, well, I've left somebody out, I'm a failure. And so that's, yeah, it's too open for me. Whereas if I put it in time order, I have a container that is arbitrary and not controlled by me. It's like outsourcing the decision making. And so that's why that works for me. And definitely a case of everybody's brain is different. Totally. Yep. Right. So I want more layer in here, and I want stuff down here, and then confetti. Okay. Let's go to this sticker sheet. Da, 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 da. So, wondering about putting a cloud with this little sunshine up here. How big is this? Not big enough for what I need it to do. Okay, you can go back. What are the motifs on the cut apart sheet? Where is the cut apart sheet? It was in here. Why can paper like disappear in front of your own eyes? Like, it was here. It's not in there now. What? Okay, that's fine. What about these pieces then? That blue is big enough. Let's do that. Oh, definitely Anne. Anne says, because it's a hobby, she has put the feeling of guilt about being behind in the bin. That's where it belongs. Anything you enjoy is both something more, something that hasn't been documented and now is, so, you know, something is better than nothing kind of scenario. And if you enjoy doing it, then that's the thing that matters. let's put that behind there. The big system, the big system picture, the big picture system. Stacy wrote a book about it, like a actual paper book, and it comes up on secondhand places that you might search all the time. So if it's something that you're interested in, put in Stacy Julian big picture. You'll find a copy that will only cost you a tiny amount, and it will help you see how it all works and know if it's going to be something that works for you. Yep. And it's definitely a book, like, I remember reading it and giving the concept a try. While the process didn't work for me, it doesn't mean that I didn't take anything away from the notes in the book. I still did. So nothing to be lost, especially at resale prices. Give a book a new home. Okay, so this has fixed that corner, but is now giving me a new corner. But I can deal with it. I want to put some little stars in here now. Okay. So we're just going to put that in there, and now we don't know that that was an issue. Okay, then a medium-sized star. In this space here, and a little one. There. And let's go up here. And I don't have another of the giant size, but I can do small and, can I do small and medium or just smalls? No, I can do small and medium. Okay. I can do one there. Okay. Let's go to phrases now. So we've got, what could we do? Can move that one. What is that? And here. Do this one. Mixing white and cream again as well, by the way. That one in that little gap there. And a little, this is a cute one. Let's do this up here. Okay. Dots. And in this gap here. Okay. Oh, I only just realized that this is separate stickers. I thought that was all one piece. I'm going to use this then. And put a little rainbow underneath here. There we go. Okay, and then go back to my Bow Bunny sticker sheet. This one. Oh, and definitely dig it out. This collection is really nice. The Colorful Story collection. I really love it. It's very different than their normal stuff as well. And I really like this sort of format. I wanted to do this in so many collections and always got told no, 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 because like whatever you would show here would just be what they thought the whole color scheme was, and nobody would ever look at the second side. And so we never did anything that was themed out by rainbow, but it was always how I started my sketching. It was always how I wanted to do it in my head because it was how I would go looking for things. Yeah. Okay. What do I want to put here? I was looking at the round pieces. What else we got? Yes, you can. Free spirit. Let's do the yes, you can. Oh, yay. Lori is loving this page. Oh, so if I put it underneath there, you can't see the yes. You only see can. That doesn't work. Okay, maybe not. I could put it above here and tuck it in there. But the circles are not actually, I thought they were, like, in order to be centered in that circle, it'd have to be all the way up here, which I don't really love. Okay, so maybe that doesn't go there. Maybe it goes here. Also, if you have this sticker sheet, don't sleep on the fact that they've given you a rainbow of confetti, little circles in the gaps. I'm really curious which in-house designer designed this because I have theories. Because some people understand the let's use every tiny space on the sticker sheet that we can. So I think I might have worked out who it was, but I don't know if I'm right. Okay, so what could we put in here then? Oh, that's not helpful. Let's take that off. Okay, what could I put in here? Because that was not quite what I imagined. I have the black and white here and here. I've got black and white butterflies. I know I haven't put butterflies anywhere else, but I do have black and white other places. So I could do that. Or I could do, like, does this work? No, not both, just one. Or I could do like that. Oh, that looks quite nice, actually. Okay, let's do that rather than my default, let's add butterflies to everything. I'll do that a different day, don't worry. Okay, I want something underneath here. We could add another pencil or crayon or whatever these are because I don't know of another time that they're going to be relevant. Like, where do we want this to go? There, I think. And what else down here? Maybe just a couple stars. There we go. That. Let's get some gold mist going here too. It's gonna look really nice on the navy, so I didn't want to skip that bit. Don't worry, I'll clean it all up. First I'll clean the desk, then I'll clean the photos. Okay. So journaling on here. And let's talk about ways that you could use this from the starting point without this same number of photos. By the way, I did not come back to this, but that's because I liked the dots better. Okay, so things that you might come back to this, like, or things you might do differently from the starting point, because remember, we didn't have the photos on here and we've built these layers around. So this could be a single photo layout without any trouble at all. So you could put one photo here, and then you could have a really tall journaling box that leads along this way if you had a longer story that you wanted to write. You could definitely do a smaller title, or you could do, like a pre-made kind of title that takes more like that sort of room rather than have it come out here, because that did give us stuff that we needed to kind of fill. And I know I've left a little bit of open space here, but I'm okay with it. You do not need to make it textured and dimensional and distressed. It will flatten once I put it in the page protector anyway, because there's not pop dots or anything behind that. But I like how it looks even when it flattens out a little bit. It does look different flattened out than it does if it was never dimensional in the first place. Like, you can see that little difference, and I like little differences like that. You could do a different number of photos. So this could be a little grid of pictures. Small photos could go along here. What if we didn't want the journaling box here? We could add a journaling box here. Smaller title, journaling kind of connected to it underneath, and then that would give you space to put in another photo. This could be a column of 3x4 landscape photos and then one big portrait. Gives you a lot of different options for ways you could go. And of course, anytime you work with layers, you can get more layers if you make the photos smaller because you just have more room for them. But I do like the challenge of keeping the photos bigger sometimes and still giving them the layered treatment, because my eyes thank me when the photos are bigger. Yeah, especially for things like faces. I love their faces in this photo. This photo makes me really, really happy. So there we are. Any questions before we finish today? Oh, the update on class stuff. We are going well now. So the punch thing that was like the last punch video that had disappeared, and that is going to be up shortly after this. I'm going back to, that's what I was working on this morning, and that's what I'm going back to now. So that will be all in the clear. Then there are both Christmas and Joy videos coming throughout the week, and then as each thing goes live, I will stick it on Instagram stories to know, so you can see there that it's live. Make sense? Nikki has a good question. Would you ever put a page in a 12x12 shadow box frame for a bit before putting it in an album when it is so dimensional? I used to have that sort of scenario in my studio in another house where it made sense. It does not make sense in our current house because it would get sun bleached really, really fast. But I love the idea. It just doesn't work for me. But if it works in your house and your layouts can still be happy that way. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Paige's scrapbook studio, but she has like a clothesline where she hangs all her layouts before she puts them in her album. Now, I could not do what Paige does where she waits until she has a massive stack before she puts in the album, and I love her to bits, but it gives me anxiety because her pages are like really fragile in my mind because they have so many tiny details, and I would totally be messing that up. But anyway, that's my problem. I'm just, not as coordinated as she is with it. But the most important thing about if you're going to display layouts outside of an album is about your sunlight and whether things are going to fade. So just don't do anything that you're then going to be really sad about the layout fading. Yeah, because the structure of our house means that things on the wall would fade. So I don't do that now. I put everything in an album. Okay, Georgia says, is there a way to set up email notifications on the forum? I don't think so, but you could look to see if, like on the class thread, if you can turn on like following, but I don't think so. I'll find out for Friday and tell you. The Adhesive Avenger says it doesn't really work. There we go. Yeah, I would assume that even if it did send you, if I could make it send you an email, that email would get blocked quite often, because that is my problem anytime we send emails through the forum rather than through an external source, is all the email companies go, nah, you don't look real. And I'm like, really, I am. I'm not even a giant company. I'm just a little person. But there we go. Yeah. But I do put on Insta stories as we go, so that at least there's somewhere that you can see that I'm updating. Okay. All right. Oh, thanks, Lori. Lori says, give it a thumbs up if you like it. I appreciate that. Super, super duper duper. And I think that's everything for today. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, and stay happy and creative and all those things. Yeah. I'll see you soon. I'll be live Friday at 10 a.m. And tomorrow is when we get our schedule update for what's going to happen with the end of March. So by Friday, I will have the update of if everything is going to just be normal and I'm not going anywhere, which I kind of expect is what's going to happen. But let's see what happens in tomorrow's announcements. And I'll let you know on Friday. All right. I'll see you Friday, 10 a.m.